Everybody, Madeleine Parker here to talk about the astrology for today. Today is September 19th, and there's something very interesting to talk about, as usual, in astrology. So much happening these days. We have a very important thing happening with the sun opposing Neptune. The sun is at 27 degrees Mercury at Virgo, and it's going to move into Libra here soon. But in this, as it's doing so, it's forming a kite configuration with the outer planets. Now let's talk about these outer planets that are all in retrograde at the end degrees of their sign. When these planets shift next year into the next sign, we're having a whole new paradigm shift, and we are officially out of the Piscean era. So when these planets go retrograde, what happens is they're going past a part of our chart that they have already been in. So that's why you see things coming back from the past, because the planet's going back over this part of your chart and then it's going to go forward again. So there's something in every one of these three planets that's going backwards and in integrating in our psyche body, making these some kind of a lesson more permanent, more solid, more integrated, and more part of who we now are. So let's start with Uranus in retrograde. Uranus is a fabulous planet that teaches us to be more of our authentic selves and liberates us into our authentic selves. And it's forming this beautiful sextile to Neptune. And Neptune in retrograde is bringing us back over some kind of a lesson, some kind of a soul spiritual lesson. Usually it's going to be how we have been out of alignment in our actions or in our movements in our lives that have not aligned with our soul's true destiny and, shall we say, calling. So here we are going retro, going back over an aspect of our personalities, of ourselves, and we're finding more authenticity, which is going to line us up with more financial liberation, which is going to involve a path that is truly aligned with our souls, going retrograde to really connect with that, to really know internally what that is, to integrate that path to that clarity. And then the plan's going to go forward again. So we're going to go forward with that lesson, which is around a more soul aligned practice or more soul aligned choices and changes. And when I say soul aligned, they're going to be more spiritual, more higher consciousness, because our soul is connected to God. So it's always going to be the better way. Now, and then here we have Pluto in retrograde sextiling Neptune. And this, by the way, this transit is going to happen all year. This shape is going to be blessing our world for the year, this trine and the sextile, and the sun will come around and form a kite again, which we'll get into in a minute. Now, with Pluto in retrograde here in Capricorn, all these planets are going back over something that we need to see. How did we create karma? By taking non-soul aligned paths, non-soul aligned relationships, non-soul aligned jobs. It depends on what chart, what aspect of which house this all lands in your chart. Now with Pluto in retrograde, we're clearing the last little resolve of karma. Something maybe needs to be cleaned up, needs to be ended, needs to be resolved. Then all these planets are going to go direct. Then we're going to resolve all these issues because it's going to go back over those spots again. And then we really will have mastered some area, something about, we're going to be more very much aligned in our spiritual destiny, soul aligned destiny. We're going to know who we are and how to feel financially liberated. And we're going to have cleared up our karma. We're not operating from lower base fear density choices. And then, wow, look at this kite, boom. The universe is just the wind behind our backs. When people have kite configurations in their charts, they have tremendous luck. I'm always jealous. I don't have a kite. I wish I did. So for the next 3 days, the more flow we are, the more relaxed, the more meditative, connecting with our higher guidance. And Neptune is taking us out of our ego mind so that we don't clash with the true destiny. We get lost. We feel very lost. A lot of people, if you don't have astrology right now, you're going to feel very lost because you're not going to understand, because these old structures are coming down and we're rebuilding a new, more humanitarian planet. And it is through everybody stepping into their higher calling in their charts, because that is what's going to fix the earth, because that's what we were made to do. We were made to help work with the higher realms to create heaven on earth. So when we live in an era where people aren't living their true gifts, the planet suffers, because the true gifts are what we're going to heal and fix the planet and our world and for our collective. So these are big paradigm shifts for the entire collective. I mean, our world is completely changing, and we're going to see this in the next year when all these planets make these major shifts to the other energies. And in the next 3 days, something in our lives as individuals is going to be guided and tilted more clearly to our true destiny, where this Pisces sort of kite points in our chart. And it's very blessed, it's very magical, it's very easy to, if you can pull out of ego and into the soul lining of the spirit, like if you can connect with this kite, which is always going to be through the intuitive. When you have a kite in your chart, the more intuitive you go, the more you land in really lucky situations, because the spirits are guiding this kite, they're pulling you. So the more we can flow with these energies, and by the way, with this eclipse coming in here, we're letting go of shadow aspect, all things Venus, which is love for money, relationships based on ego or image or finances or security or sex or something. So we're really pulling out, we're really clearing karma. And then in this Pisces we have a last chance here with Pisces in Neptune to really forgive people and to not bring baggage, to release the baggage that we're lighter on our next round around on our next journey around the astrological sign. I'm going to pull some cards here for this beautiful transit, for a message for the highest good of all. What is the Neptune message for everybody here? Because Neptune is creating confusion, feeling lost. A lot of people are feeling very lost and sort of not sure what this, because we're in eclipse season, so all these changes are occurring, and people just, it's hard to see where we're headed, what's happening in our lives, you know. So let's take a look. So yeah, we're really starting new inspired paths, new inspired beginnings, you know, and we're pulling away from old ones. We're really releasing old patternings, old thoughts, old ideas. I mean, we really are coming into a new paradigm that is very much more spiritually centric, with it pointing to the Piscean Neptune, which is where we're really learning what is spirituality, not religion, because even in a good religious house, or spirituality and having a connection to source and all this, doesn't matter what religion you're in or what anything you're in. It's all about having the connection to self, because through connection to self, you're connected to God. So when we're connected to God, we're guided the right way. That's what astrology is trying to help us do, is to connect to the higher realm so that we're guided and higher guided to a more benefic destiny, to a better, it's helping us operate in the world. Astrology is trying to help us manage these energies in a way that creates abundance for us. Astrology is trying to help us. So, and boy, are we being helped with this kite today and tomorrow and the next day. Very blessed, very spiritual. Three of Pentacles shows up here. Three of Pentacles, Page of Cups. Mercury ruled with the sun there. So I suppose you could look at it as communication coming in and people communicating and having clarity, you know, around some sort of, I mean, that's Neptune thing is going to be foggy, but with the communication, maybe people are communicating out of ego and more from a centered emotion, soul centric area. Brand new beginnings, the Fool card comes in. So we really are looking at an entirely new, you know, and jumping into these new beginnings. Look at that Fool card right there. And it is involving our, you know, our missions, our contracts, our, you know, our devoted new path, which is going to involve groups and other people and collaboratives, because we all have to group together to fix the world. Changing of our destiny, absolutely. Change, the wheel is turning, because we've got the nodes, we've got a big nodal eclipse coming in, where when the nodes are involved in a lunation, we see radical changes, releases of old lives, things going away. I will do a report on this upcoming eclipse very soon. And one more card here. We're going to be ending things. Yeah, ending things that are no longer in alignment with our soul, with our truth. That's what this card is all about. That's the Pisces card. That's a Mercury Pisces energy. That's speaking, this is the fish, you know, that's Pisces. So it's like we're knowing what is authentic, what is real within us. That we're really being guided to a really powerfully authentic soul aligned path here. And that is going, and we're ending things that are not. So that, I mean, that message is very repeat, I guess, in eclipses, but specifically with this kite, because we're entering a new paradigm. So literally, I mean, you're going to be able to say, this was my life today. It was completely changed forever. You know, if these planets are making these kind of impact on your chart, if they're impacting your chart at all. All right. So I hope this was helpful and have a wonderful weekend. Namaste.